And we're back, baby, yeah! So today we're actually going to be working on a couple more modifications to the Lian T60 here. We are also going to start working on our cooling system for this computer. So without further ado, I'm Alex, and welcome to the Renaissance Builder. Okay, so here's the story. Our cables are still a little bit too short to reach, so we're actually going to be working on putting some access holes for cable routing in the main plate here, as well as I need to take the motherboard. Well, I need to take the motherboard off to add a bracket. We have a EK Waterblocks Supremacy liquid cooling CPU block here. I'll be honest with you, it's used because I'm broke, so it's used, but regardless. We're going to be using this to cool the CPU. Now this is part of the liquid cooling mods that I spoke about earlier. Now this isn't anything new to the computer market, but it may be new to anybody that is not familiar with computers and advanced or high-end computer builds. I have to mount some brackets on the back of the motherboard to support the water block mechanism. So I need to take the motherboard off anyhow for that. But whilst I'm doing so, I'm going to go ahead and drill some more access holes in this system to, make cable routing easier. Now, the advantage to this here pit stop case is all I got to do to take the entire plate off of this assembly is remove these 4 captive thumb screws, 2 on each side. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And it then lifts right off. Now I'm going to go ahead and set this down. This isn't anything complicated. You already know what's going on here. So we'll probably fast forward. Now I'm actually going to go ahead and remove our RAM sticks and our DIMM.2 stick because I think, well, this may actually just turn out to be easier without these in the way. And that's as easy as taking these little fingers and you push them up, which starts to pull them out of the socket, and you just pull them straight up. Now we're going to get into this here case mod. Now at this point, the only thing I can foresee needing is to simply make a hole across here. So I'm actually going to use the drill press, the hole saw, and the Dremel to basically make an elongated slot for our wires to fit through. So let's get on that one. Okay, so I'm not going to lie, the aluminum turned out to be a little tougher than I expected it to be. But that's okay, the Dremel didn't quite handle it, so we got out the big guns. Now unfortunately I probably could have done a little better job of getting this hole like perfectly straight, but you know what, I said, yeah, this is just taking long enough, so I'll be honest, I got a little impatient. So it's a little messy. Now that being said, touch it up with a little magic marker, and I'm okay with it. It'll get the job done, do exactly what we need it to, and it doesn't really have to look pretty now, does it? This obviously isn't the end goal for the entire computer, so as long as it gets the job done, I'm totally cool with it. So that's it. So that's our hole, cutting in the case to allow for better wire management in this thing. Now, specifically, if you guys care about the Lian T60, this is only necessary because I ordered the SF750 power supply, which comes with short cables. A normal power supply, this would be a moot point because the cables would be long enough, but so it's a demon of my own creation. Either way, Now that that's done, I'm going to clean up a bit, and then we'll get started on modifying, well, it's not modifying, but installing the water block on the motherboard. So, day number 2 in this. I had to go to the store and get some new washers for this, the nylon washers. It's very important to make sure you have nylon washers because the studs for this anchor to the motherboard itself, and you never want to press a metal object against the motherboard lest you risk damaging one of the traces being the wires that are printed on the motherboard. You don't want to damage that because then you'll break your motherboard. And that's not a good day. So let's get to moving on this thing because I am anxious to get her done. Ground ourselves out. And so here's how it works. You take a stud, nylon washer, and you stick that through one of the 4 blank holes on the motherboard. All right. Then you take the rubber, stick that on there, and then the plate. And the stud screws into the plate like so. All right. Do not screw it down tight just yet. You want to get all the studs, like I said before, you want to get all the studs in here. Put all your fasteners on and make sure they line up before you tighten it down. Nylon washer. There we go. See? That one took a little bit to line up. Nylon washer. And this one. There we go. Now we just tighten these down, and you're only going to hand tighten them. You're not going to town on this thing. All right. Now that provides us with these studs right here that give us our anchor points to hold the cooling bracket, the cooling block down appropriately. Oh look, fish our first wires up through here. Bug it. All right, so I believe this block in the Intel format is clockable. In other words, it can go on 90-degree increments. So you can decide which way you want that to go on. I'm not terribly worried about it at this point, but I'll go ahead and lay it out in this fashion. Just like that. So you can get the idea that this is how this block goes on. All right. And then we clean the face of the block. Make sure that is good and shiny, and the processor as well. You want to clean the face of the processor, making sure there's no greases or oils in the way. Now, at this point, I need to put... What do I do with all those fittings? I need to find my fittings, and I want to put the 2 fittings that I'm going to be using in here on a while. Now, because this is a temporary setup, I'm just using barbed fittings for this. So, nothing special. And these are fittings that you buy specifically for computer liquid cooling loops. Okie dokie. So, that is our water block. Now we're ready to mount it. So let me get this in a different motion. I can move this. Knocked over my Deep Space Nine and broke it. So now I'm incredibly pissed off. I'll have to fix that later. Yay. Really? Damn it, I really thought that was going to be a bigger tube than that. That is kind of insulting as far as how much this stuff cost, but alright, whatever. Alright, so our thermal grizzly. This stuff will smear out, fit in all the nooks and crannies, all the little microscopic nooks and crannies. And the whole point of this is to make the contact point between the IHS of the chip or the IHS of the CPU and your actual water block, make that thermal joint a lot better, But because this stuff smears out, going all out and spreading a paste is kind of pointless. So what you want to do is about a pea-sized dab of thermal paste. Like I said, about the size of a pea. Right there in the middle. And here's the thing. Any extra, this stuff is non-conductive. So any extra just makes a mess. And it's not even a mess that you see. It just makes a mess. It just makes a mess for, you know, when you take it apart and you go, oh, all right. So we are mounting our cooling block. Again, liquid cooling in a computer. All right, next step, you put your springs on the studs because this block is held down with spring tension. And the reason they use spring tension to hold the block down is because you want the same amount of tension on all four corners. And the best way to guarantee that you have the same amount of tension on all four corners is to use spring tension. So you get them started. Oh, I gotta look out because there's some stray washers up in here that I didn't realize were in there. There we go. And you're going to screw that down until it stops. The stud is going to bottom out before it scrunches down on the spring. So it's going to be just the spring pushing down on the mounting bracket. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, our cooling block for the CPU is mounted. Would you check that out? Would you just look at that? I guess it's like this. Right side up. Would you look at that? Would you just look at it? Isn't it beautiful? Would you just look at it? All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and throw our grounding strap back on. And we're going to go ahead and throw the RAM and stuff back in. And then put the case back together. Yes. All right. So let's see if our modification works. Get our cables out here. And you ready for it? This was the point of our mod. Whoop. And get that trained around a little bit there. Ta-da! Woo! We are in business, ladies and gentlemen. We are in business. We're in business. Look at that. Yes, sir. Now we can start running cables and getting things powered up. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to go ahead and no, you know what? We're going to do that in the next video. So that's this video. Now there's one more modification that I need to do that has to do with this liquid cooling loop. And that is mounting this. But I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet. What I want to do is mount it right up here. That's what I want to do. But I'm not sure. I can't, there's no room to put it down here unless, well, that's that part anyhow. So there's really no room to do anything with it down lower. And I mean, I guess I could mount it to the side, but that just seems superfluous. So I really want to mount it right here. So probably what I'm going to have to do is come up with some angle brackets. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to come up with some, I could even make the angle brackets to actually mount this thing right here. That way my water lines can go, you know, my water lines can go here. I'll probably have the pump sitting here or in here so the water lines can do that number. And then come up, I might even use this slot to run the water lines too. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. I'll do that on another video. Actually, I'll probably just get her done, and then like in the next video you guys can see, or you know, by the time it's all done I'll have, you know, an image of it that you guys can see how this turned out. But yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make an angle bracket, and I'm just going to drill some extra holes for mounting, and I'll have an angle bracket that holds this thing right like that. And then I can mount the fans on this side, the hose is right there. Yeah, I think that's good. I think that'll be good. So
that's it for this video. Long enough. So in this video, we mounted our water block, our CPU water block, and you know, showed you guys how to do that, the specifics on that. Modified our chassis a bit so that our wiring is perfect. Well, as perfect as I'm okay with it for a test bench. How about them apples? So yeah, so we got a modification here to run the wiring, and you know, this whole thing's coming together. We dropped the plate. It's a little more, you know, down to earth. It's down to earth. So we dropped the plate. We got our wiring hole cut in. Gonna make a bracket for this up here. It's coming along nicely. I'm getting pretty excited. I'll be very excited to fire this puppy up and actually see what it's worth. So in the next video, we're gonna be mounting our GPU. Now this GPU to me is super exciting because, well, let's just say I'll be paying on it for a while. Yes, this channel has me broke. Speaking of which, if you guys would like to support the channel, and I'd really appreciate it, go over to patreon.com, look up The Renaissance Builder. So it's patreon.com/The Renaissance Builder. Feel free to subscribe, throw a subscription in there. I'm going to have, I know I keep mentioning this, but it's going to happen. I'm going to start doing auctions soon. Well, raffles. Auctions not the right, raffles. I'm going to start doing raffles pretty soon. And I want to integrate the Patreon system as how you're going to buy tickets to the raffle. So I think what it's going to be is a monthly raffle. You know what, I'm going to do a separate video to go over that stuff. But anyhow, patreon.com/The Renaissance Builder. Look it up, help me out, really appreciate it, because this stuff is killing me. Like, legit. I ain't spending any more money on this channel. After this is done, that's it. I'm not spending it. I can't. I don't have any. Anyhow, so yes, the next video, we're going to do the GPU, we're going to finish the wiring, and hopefully I'll have the mounting so that everything will be done, and we can plug it in, and turn it on, and fire it up. See what it's worth. Well, I already know it's worth it. It's way more than any monitor I have can handle. Actually, I'm going to put it on my TV. I got a 4K TV, so we'll put it on the TV and crank up the video settings. Yeah, that'll be interesting. So, yes, thank you very much, everybody, for watching. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you're as excited about this thing as I am. And, you know, watch the next video with the GPU, because that thing's a monster. A monster. And, well, by the time... yeah. So thank you very much. I keep saying that, but I really do. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Make sure you're subscribed and hit that bell icon so you see the future, get notified and see the future videos. And that subscription is important. The channel's kind of hurting right now. It's not winning. We need subscriptions. We need subscriptions. That's what tells YouTube that people are actually watching. So I need subscriptions. So make sure you're subscribed and hit that bell icon. And, yeah, we mentioned the Patreon thing and all. Make sure you throw a like up on the video. Thumbs up. That's a good thing. Helps out the video, get promoted and more views and all that kind of stuff.
thank you very much, guys. As always, I'll see you in the next one. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.